In a remote, war-torn village, a group of brave soldiers embarks on a mission that's not just about rescuing one life, but about protecting the soul of a nation. Bound by duty, honor, and sacrifice, they face overwhelming odds, deadly enemies, and heartbreaking choices. This is not just a story of war, this is a story of heroes who chose humanity over medals and love over survival. Let's dive into this powerful and emotional journey where every bullet fired tells a story and every loss leaves a mark. The movie opens with a girl held captive by ISIS, moments away from being executed. She's asked to give a confession, but she refuses, saying, "You can kill me, but I won't confess to anything." Meanwhile, some ordinary-looking people walk by, but they're not ordinary at all. They're Turkey's special elite force, undercover and ready to rescue the girl. From a distance, a sniper locks onto his target. Just as the girl is about to be killed, the elite force launches their attack. The sniper lands a perfect headshot on the enemy leader, taking him out instantly. Then, in seconds, the team takes down all the terrorists and rescues the girl. This elite unit is called the Strong Big R's. There are 7 soldiers in the team, led by Colonel Vessel, a man who has saved many lives through risky missions over the last 20 years. His close and trusted right-hand man is Master Sergeant Mustafa. The 2 star pupils of this force are Ox and Becky, the main characters who are unmatched fighters and frontline experts. Another key member is Arif, the team's deadly and precise sniper. No matter how far the enemy is, Arif never misses a shot. He's a poetic soul and often recites poems before taking a shot. Sergeant Bayer is an expert in making bombs out of anything and is a heavy machine gun specialist. Lastly, Sergeant Ezra is a fierce soldier who loves his shotgun and excels in hand-to-hand combat. Now, why have they taken on this mission? The girl they are rescuing is named Sayeda, a Turkish journalist who got trapped while covering news near the Iraq-Turkey border. Since she's a Turkish citizen, this elite team is sent to bring her back, no matter the cost. The mission is extremely precise because they have to operate inside foreign territory filled with IS militants at every step. In this whole movie, the intense fight scenes are what you're about to watch. So if you haven't liked this video yet, hit that like button now and stay tuned till the end. Now, let's get to the main part. After rescuing Sayeda, their top priority is to leave the valley as fast as possible and reach the landing zone. The team moves forward with Ox and Becky as the relentless guards up front and Sayeda protected right in the middle. As they travel through the harsh desert, Becky says, "How lucky we are. You and me, we always go together wherever we go." They are very close friends. How they ended up on this mission, that's shown in a flashback. In the flashback, Ox and Becky are having a meal at a restaurant. They talk about how their commander, Kareem, sacrificed his life to save them. They feel they owe it to him to give everything for their country. Before joining this special force, Becky and Ox were non-commissioned officers. During a previous mission, Becky got injured in the leg and Ox hurt his shoulder. Because of these injuries, the selectors didn't want to pick them. They feared that taking such vulnerable soldiers would endanger the whole team. But then Colonel Vaisel steps in. He says, "If I were in your place, I'd risk my life to save Kareem. And if I couldn't save him, I'd fight for revenge." Becky replies, "That's exactly what we want, to avenge our commander's death." The colonel gives them a chance but warns, this training will be harder and more ruthless than hell. Next, we see Colonel Wiesel selecting only 20 soldiers out of 200. He makes it clear, if you came here just to drop out, this force is not for you. No newspapers will ever mention your name. No one will know your wins or losses. The day you take your last breath is the only day you can leave this place. He adds, your teammates will be with you through life and death. If one falls, 1,000 will rise. Hearing this will give you chills. If you got this chance, you dedicate yourself to your country without hesitation. Finally, Ox and Becky make the cut. Their tough training begins. Becky's leg injury is serious, but the commander says, "I won't focus on your pain or whether you have a leg or not. I only know one thing. You have to be back here within a minute." Becky says she can't do it, but the commander pushes her to control her mind and give her maximum strength. Slowly, Becky starts moving despite her injury. The commander warns, if you don't make it here within 30 seconds, both you and your rifle will be out of this mission. Hearing this, Becky pushes through the pain, summoning every ounce of strength to run. Finally, they make it through the grueling training just in time, but that's only the beginning. Next, they're forced to hold a sponge underwater in freezing cold water overnight. They're warned that if even a single drop of water is found on the sponge the next morning, they'll be kicked out. These soldiers are tough. They all manage to get through it. The next day, their hands are tied and they're thrown into water, testing their limits under extreme pressure. Then begins the harshest part of their training. 3 to 4 days without any food or water, tied up, enduring pure torture. They're told that today we cooked pilaf, korma, and lamb, but only the one whose hands stay free will get to eat. Anyone who breaks under the torture is given water and a towel, but the interrogation officers only intensify the third-degree torture. This kind of torture is unbearable for ordinary people, even for just 2 seconds. When the officers come to torture Becky, she defiantly says, "Sir, I'm going to curse you." Hearing this, they ramp up the torture even more, but Becky refuses to break. Eventually, unable to bear the pain, she starts singing. Then it's Ox's turn. Surprisingly, he endures the torture calmly and lasts longer than anyone else. Seeing this, the colonel says, "This guy's pure fire. He'll never bow down to the enemy. We've found a diamond." Now you understand what kind of training this team went through to become what they are. The scene shifts back to the present. The team arrives at a place where fresh bodies of executed victims lie everywhere. No one spared, from young to old. Seeing this, Sayeda feels the pain deeply and takes a few photos. Then Sniper Arif spots an ISIS convoy approaching. He alerts the colonel, who immediately reports the location to their country's tank unit and instructs, "Fire as soon as you get the signal." They leave behind a fake radio signal and move away. As soon as the terrorists arrive, the colonel orders fire. 3 tanks simultaneously open fire, wiping out the entire enemy force in seconds. 2 terrorists survive, but Arif quickly takes them out, one with a perfect headshot, the other with a body shot, destroying the entire terror team. After the attack, realizing a bigger conflict is brewing nearby, the team calls headquarters. They're ordered to return to their own territory as quickly as possible, since nearly 1,000 militants are gathering to close the border in the north. The team resumes their journey. As night falls, they reach a spot where they discover a terrorist group planting time bombs on a dock, preparing to blow it up. The team silently arms their silencers and launches a surprise attack. Meanwhile, Baibar focuses on defusing the time bomb. During the fight, a terrorist rushes Ox, but Asrep intervenes and saves him. Together, they manage to defuse the bomb just in time. The next morning, Ox teaches Sayeda how to handle the gun properly because in this mission, everyone needs to be ready to help each other. As they move forward, the team reaches a valley. There, the colonel spots through binoculars that terrorists are torturing a half-naked girl. Nearby, an unconscious little girl lies helplessly. Although rescuing them wasn't their primary mission, hearing the horrifying screams, no one can stay still. The team decides to cut through the bushes and approach carefully. Arif, the sniper, takes position above, watching through his scope, while the others stealthily move through the grass. Just as the terrorists pour petrol on the girl and try to set her on fire, the colonel orders to open fire. Arif shows his deadly skill by delivering a perfect headshot, instantly putting the terrorists to sleep. The rest of the team attacks from all sides, and the terrorists start dropping one by one in a flawless formation. Suddenly, a sniper shot hits Baibar's left hand. Ox quickly warns, "Sniper!" Everyone fall back. Arif starts searching for the hidden sniper. After a tense moment, he spots the sniper, but before he can react, the sniper fires an SVD Dragunov rifle at Arif. Arif realizes this just in time, pushes Sayeda out of the line of fire, saving her life. Then Arif counters with his M8 TV sniper rifle, delivering a deadly shot that pierces the sniper's chest, ending the fight. The sniper duel is so intense and thrilling that you'll want to watch this scene again and again. With all enemies down, the colonel and his team rush to rescue the girl. At first, she's terrified upon seeing them, but when she recognizes the colonel's son who is in the army, she calms down, tears of relief streaming as she thanks God silently. Then the colonel approaches a severely injured man who had lost one eye and suffered countless wounds from the terrorists. To ease his pain, the colonel gives him morphine. The man reveals that he was part of the military forces, about 80 soldiers strong, but they were never able to defeat the terrorists. When the colonel tries to give him more morphine, the man refuses, asking the colonel not to waste the medicine on him. He says he no longer wants to live with his suffering and asks the colonel to end his pain, sacrificing him in the name of God. As the man recites the Kalima prayer, the colonel mercifully ends his suffering with a single shot. The team then resumes their journey toward the landing point, where Turkish forces will pick them up by helicopter. They arrive near a village called Chartalan, home to just 30 families, mostly mixed Iraqi and Turkish origin. They decide to stay the night there and plan to leave early the next morning. First, they cautiously enter the village to check if it's safe. Soon they realize the villagers are innocent and peaceful. The little rescued girl runs to one of the village women, confirming she belongs to this village. The colonel learns about a man named Borhan, who used to work in the military but is now disabled due to a gunshot wound. At night, a message comes from headquarters that nearly 100 ISIS terrorists are planning to attack and loot the village by noon tomorrow. They will kill innocent people mercilessly and rape the village girls. The colonel's human side urges him to save the villagers, but in this line of duty, emotions have no value. Just 7 soldiers can never stand against 100 armed enemies, so the colonel decides they will only focus on their mission and won't get involved in this chaos. But Sayeda challenges the colonel, saying, "You call yourselves brave, you call yourselves heroes, but what kind of army is this that after knowing small children will be brutally raped, you want to cowardly run away just because you're not Turkish?" she declares. "If that's the case, I'm not leaving either. Tomorrow, I'll fight alongside everyone." Hearing this, the colonel turns to Ox and asks what he would decide if he were in his place. Ox replies that no matter what, he could never abandon so many people in danger and just leave. The colonel smiles, pleased, and says, "You will become a great officer one day. Everyone will be proud of you." The next morning, the colonel calls for a helicopter to land and evacuates all the village children onto it, including Sayeda, who is reluctant to leave. The colonel tells her, "If you respect me even a little, please go with them. I have one request. Never speak or write about what happened here." He also gives her a letter and tells her to open it only when she reaches Turkey. Though unwilling, Sayeda boards the helicopter and they head toward Turkey. Meanwhile, Edik calls from headquarters asking why they are leaving the village. The colonel replies, "I, along with the team, have decided to take responsibility for rescuing this village. We will finish this mission before returning." One by one, the team confirms this to headquarters. Hearing this, headquarters says, "Tomorrow, I want to see all of your faces. May God protect you." The whole team sets out to survey the village and plan how 7 soldiers can fight nearly 100 terrorists with so few weapons. The colonel says, "This is not a game or a Hollywood film. There's no way 7 of us can fight against so many terrorists. But if we use our brains, we can outsmart them." He orders everyone to load their 4 magazines fully, as that's all the ammunition they have. With this limited ammo, they must hit 90% of their shots successfully. Bybar says, "With my heavy machine gun's ammunition, I can make bombs that can cause a big explosion." They also have 2 rocket launchers for special moments. Arif is sent to a mosque minaret. He remarks, "When I was little, I wanted to be a muezzin, but now I'm climbing here to pierce the heads of inhuman enemies." Finally, the colonel orders everyone into a bunker and warns them to never open the door for anyone but themselves. Meanwhile, Borhan and the girl also ask to join the fight. At first, the colonel doesn't want to take them, but after their insistence, he agrees. He assigns the girl to guard the ammunition depot while giving Borhan an AK-47 and telling him to stay hidden. Everyone starts preparing and taking their positions. Soon, Arif signals from above. The terrorists have arrived. Everyone takes their places. They expected about 100 militants, but more than 200 show up. Worst of all, among their convoy is an American high-tech Abrams tank. The question is, what can they do? They only have limited magazines and ammo, which will run out quickly against such a large force. And now, the terrifying tank is in play. The colonel says, "We can't retreat anymore. Have courage and trust each other. We move forward. We win this battle or we don't return home." Bybar had already planted landmines earlier, and the colonel and Ox wait near them. When the terrorists approach the mines, they simultaneously detonate them remotely, blowing up an entire convoy. Meanwhile, Arif from above picks off the terrorists one by one with his sniper. Arif tries to take a shot at the tank's driver but narrowly misses. On the front line, the colonel and others fight fiercely but cannot stop the tank, which pushes them back inside the village. Bybar uses his heavy machine gun to mow down enemies like birds. Borhan tries to block with his AK-47, but his gun jams and an attacker attacks him. Just then, Ezra arrives and rescues him. The colonel orders Bybar to bring a rocket launcher into the village. The girl runs through heavy gunfire, carrying plenty of ammo and a pocket launcher, and manages to reach them. From above, Arif continues covering the entire area. When the tank locates Arif's position, it targets the mosque minaret. Before it can destroy it, Mustafa tells Arif to take a shot, but the tank blows the minaret up first. Now, Ox and Becky take their last shot at the tank with rocket launchers right in front of it and manage to destroy it. Later, Arif is seen in terrible condition but still alive, sitting and resuming sniper fire. Below, the Colonel and Mustafa reach a place where Mustafa says, "Colonel, I'll cover you. You get out of here." The Colonel realizes that Mustafa will risk his life to protect him. Mustafa recalls how his son once asked him, "Dad, are you a hero?" Mustafa replied, "No, I am not a hero, but the one I work under. That's the real hero, sir." Mustafa says, "I want to risk my life for that hero." Hearing this, the Colonel bids farewell and escapes. Meanwhile, the terrorists throw grenades at Bybar, but he catches one, picks it up, and throws it back at them. Meanwhile, the terrorists surround Mustafa and take him captive. Arif keeps aiming at them from above with his sniper, but Mustafa tells him not to shoot. Then, holding a grenade, Mustafa says, "Watch over my son. If one dies, 1,000 will be born." With that, Mustafa detonates the grenade, sacrificing himself along with the enemies. Mustafa's sacrifice breaks the team emotionally, including the Colonel, but war doesn't allow space for emotions. They keep fighting and push forward. By now, Borhan and the girl have been injured by gunfire. While rescuing them, suddenly a sniper emerges and shoots Ezra straight in the stomach. Ezra collapses and signals Arif not to come, but Ezra insists, "Arif, be my shield." Arif refuses, saying he will get Ezra out no matter what. Ezra tells him he can't move his body, but asks Arif to use him as a shield. With no other choice, Arif takes Ezra as backup and zeroes in on the sniper. After learning the sniper's exact location, Arif shoots the sniper in the eye with a flawless shot, killing him instantly. After these deaths, the team goes into their last backup mode, but they only have one magazine left. Yet, there are still 30 to 40 terrorists in the area. Once their ammo runs out, there's no way they'll survive. The terrorists surround them tightly, but the team fights back fiercely, taking down enemies as best as they can. Suddenly, a suicide bomber approaches with explosives, ready to blow up the whole team. The Colonel has just one bullet left, but before he can shoot, another terrorist saves the bomber. With no other option, the Colonel runs to grab the bomber and holds his hand to stop him from triggering the bomb. At that moment, another terrorist shoots the Colonel from behind, and he falls wounded. Ox, Becky, Arif, and Burhan witness this and unleash all their strength to wipe out the entire terrorist group. They then rush to rescue the Colonel, but he realizes he cannot return from here alive. Addressing the team, the Colonel says, "Remember our beautiful moments. Don't ever forget me." Then he tells Ox and Becky, "The whole nation is watching you. Don't ever disappoint them." He says, "I can go peacefully today because we protected these villagers." With that, the Colonel closes his eyes for the last time and embraces death. The team mourns deeply over Mustafa's and the Colonel's sacrifice. In a flashback, we learn about the mission's start. The girl they rescued was a fierce anti-army journalist. Ox asks, if she hates us so much, why are we rescuing her? The Colonel responds, "Even if the people hate me, it is my duty to protect them. We are not fighting for medals, but for the safety of the Turkish people." Meanwhile, Saida reads the Colonel's letter after reaching Turkey. He wrote, "You are just like my daughter. She never tolerated injustice. To her, religion was the greatest thing. I found my daughter in you." Hearing this, Saida breaks down crying. Then, 3 helicopters arrive to take them away. The villagers honor them like heroes as they prepare to return home. And with this scene, this extraordinary movie comes to an end. Friends, how did you like this story? Please make sure to comment and let me know. We'll meet again with a new story, a new video. Thank you.